So, Miss Goddess of Gore, are you dry yet?
Mostly. My hair takes forever to dry.
Well, I think that applies for most women, doesn't it?
Which hair?
I think he's talking
like
about
my mustache hair.
Your ear hair. Your foot hair. You're a hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
My
she's a hobbit.
Yeah. Yeah, her permed back hair, yes.
I should perm my back hair.
Oh my god.
She's a 6 feet tall hobbit.
She's a half-breed, half-breed, halfling.
I think of all of us here, I'm the one who has hobbit feet. Just
Probably.
saying.
But I have the hobbit height.
I've got I've got like 4 hairs on my big toes.
If Karen had my feet, it'd be perfect.
No, thank you.
And my back.
And your back. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Threading and Dreading. Sorry we didn't have one last week. We kind of got caught up with a bad schedule, but we are back again this week, and we're going to go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves. To my right, we have...
The Wonder...
To my right...
That is not
She jumped
right.
the gun! Consume.
I can't tell the difference between my left and right.
That's asking
So if
too
you look
much.
at your left hand,
I know, it makes an L.
The one that makes the L.
Sometimes I question, which way does the L go? Okay, so, you know.
So, to my right, we have...
Right. That's me.
Yep.
The goddess of gore.
How you doing?
Just wonderful.
Good.
she's all wet.
And she's wet
Well, yeah.
because her and I just did the ice challenge. And,
And we're gonna post that shit too.
yeah, we're going to
What?
post that later. I think we did all right.
It's not really something you can fuck up.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
something
no,
I
you
fuck
can.
up.
It's not really rocket scientist.
No.
Rocket scientist? Oh my gosh.
It's not a rocket scientist.
You're not even drinking.
I know. Water.
I did see one clip who some guy who took it way too literally, where he had a bucket just filled with a solid block of ice, and then the guy that dumped on his head, and he's like, "Ow, guys, that really hurt." I'm like, wow, Mr. Literal. You realize someone's going to do that and die, then the whole challenge will end. Because Captain Literal.
Well, I heard that it started with cancer, so it's like, what's the next one?
What?
Somebody told me it was a cancer challenge first with
Oh.
the ice bucket, and then it was ALS.
Oh.
So it's like, what's next? Like toe fungus? Something else like really serious. You can lose a toe.
Yeah.
Some serious shit.
Or at least a nail.
Or at least a nail. That's just ugly.
So
Yeah,
across
it is.
from the Goddess of Gore, we have...
The
Wonder
Wonder
Twins!
Twins!
And they're back together. How you doing, guys?
Well, I'm good.
Good. They're dry, so they're happy.
My boob is wet.
Your boob is wet. Although Mr. Aficionado actually did the ice challenge the other day.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm really fat. Yeah, a friend of mine, my friend Rocky, because he's an asshole. Actually, no, he works with a child who has ALS, so he did it.
Okay.
And then he challenged me. But he said my name wrong. So I considered, like, nah, it's not my name. But then he tagged me. I was like, you son of a bitch. So, but he, like, hesitated before he said my name. He was like, I was going to say your old last name. And I was like, well, I'm glad you didn't, because I definitely would have done it then. But, yeah, I did it on Saturday.
Okay.
Appa considered joining in.
And then he took off.
And then he took off. I started counting, and he was like, oh, nothing good happens at 3. So he bolted. He's a jerk. And then we went to a barbecue.
Gotcha. And how about you, Miss Fangirl?
I'm doing all right. Not
Good.
too bad.
Good, glad to hear it. And she's dry for the moment, but she was challenged by the goddess.
goddess.
So you'll be getting wet soon.
Yipper doodles.
That's hot.
That's very hot.
Robin. Oh, Robin's going to get wet, too.
But we are still waiting on one more. The 3-star Sapphire has not yet to join us. She's probably off getting her McFlurry and taking 2 hours to do it. But we're going to move on without her.
Fuck that bitch.
Wow. I wasn't going to go that far, but okay. Fuck her and her McFlurry.
Fuck her right in her McFlurry butt.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Having said that, Mike, why do you still have Christmas decorations up?
They're not Christmas decorations.
Are you sure? That looks like a house. In
No,
snow.
they're up year round.
What is it?
It's Eagles helmets.
Oh, that's an Eagles helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, from this distance, it looks like it's a house in snow because the bottom of it's white. I'm
Nice.
like, Mike, you trashy son of a bitch.
Maybe you need to get your glasses.
No, it's just Eagles
My glasses
helmets.
are fake, you silly
And
woman.
even like the middle of the summer,
Exactly.
if I ever have a party, which I usually don't, but if I have a party, I'll light those up any time of the year because they're Eagles.
Mike, we
helmets.
party all the time. We come and we get really bored until we get really drunk, and then we're like, oh, we had a great time. I mean, no, Mike, we have a great time. Remember that last time when we had the disco ball and the stripper? Oh, wait, that was me.
Yeah.
Are you
How
the
come I
disco ball
wasn't
and the
invited to
stripper?
that?
I was the disco ball. They just painted me silver.
We threw some glitter on him and
why I
just
was
spun him
invited.
around.
I spin around. Woo!
Guys, look at me!
Humming from the ceiling like Monsters University. Mike Wazowski spinning around.
I got off topic.
We
I
digress.
think we had a topic.
We have
Oh, really? That's good.
we will never have a topic.
Hey, Mike, do you have any news for us?
Oh, we do have some news. Before we get on to the news, obviously something occurred last week that
Oh.
we're going to talk about.
What happened last
We
week?
didn't forget. We didn't.
We just we didn't forget it, but we just a week's gone by. We need to address it.
Yes.
The passing of Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. I know a week's gone by, but I feel like we could each say a couple words about him. But he I'm still at kind of a loss for words for what happened.
Yeah,
Because-
it's dark. It's not just like with Heath Ledger, it was accidental, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I mean, Robin was, he made sure.
Right.
I really like, and Steve and I talked about this a lot. We really liked how the social media handled it. There was a lot of suicide watch out.
Right.
If you ever need help. I mean, our friend Ben put some stuff up. A lot of people put stuff up. If anybody ever has those kind of thoughts,
Right.
reach out, get help.
And that's great.
But I think he was getting help, and
He was. He had just come back from rehab, and there was thought that he had been doing better. Obviously, that was not the case, but
or at very least he had a rough moment.
right.
And sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Right, and it's one of those things where, and a couple of articles I've read have addressed it. Usually, the people who are the funniest people are the ones with the darkest demons because they use humor to try and get over what they're going through.
I swear to God, if I get an intervention, I'm going to punch all of you in the face. You don't think I'm funny?
She missed that.
Oh, I.
Fuck you.
Sorry, I was just kind of in thoughts.
His impact on comedy cannot yet be measured because it's still, so recent of his passing. But you look back on the career that he's had and the career that he's had not only in stand-up but in film and TV, and I think we're going to look back and consider him one of the greatest comedians of our generation.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
Not just ours, the generation before.
right. And not only that, I would probably consider him the best improv artist of all time. His improv comedy, I would say to this day, is the best I've ever seen. If I don't know if you've ever seen him on Whose Line Is It Anyway. He actually had one appearance on there, and he was astounding. His mind can go places. It's just like he's thinking faster than the rest of us. He has to be, and it was almost like seeing a great athlete. And seeing him do improv is one of the most astounding things you'd ever see. It was amazing, and I wish we could have seen that more. It's a shame where you got to see a bit of that with his comedy routines, with a little bit of his stand-up. And that's a story that's coming out now, and I had heard that back in the day on his Screen Actors Guild interview when he went and did the genie for Aladdin. They were in a position to kind of let him riff for a while, to kind of let him improv, because I said, look, we haven't finished a couple animation scenes here. Just go off and do what you think is funny, and we'll try and animate it. And so he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to improv. And a lot of the stuff you hear in Aladdin is him just going off on tangents and just him having a good time. And that's why the comedy seems genuine. It wasn't forced.
They were like, we didn't even write that song. He just broke out. We were like, all right, we got you, keep going. The other actors were like, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know. There's a song here?
Yeah.
No.
And he liked to tell the story of, he was in the middle of going through a rant and he got what he called Little Blue, where he was going, kind of a little degrading, a little derogatory, and crude. And the Disney rep came in. It's like, it's Disney. The mouse doesn't have genitals. Remember that.
Not anymore.
But it's truly a loss that will be measured through time, because I feel like, looking back on it, he has had an impact not only on me but as us, just on film in general. I don't think film would be the same without Robin Williams.
I mean, it's sad when anybody dies. It's sad losing anyone into anything, a sickness, an overdose, or suicide. And I find that when celebrities pass, I mean, not to be cold, but it really doesn't affect me much. Whitney Houston passed. That's sad. I'm sorry. There's not going to be another CD. Same with Michael Jackson. Like, okay. Robin Williams passing, like, it hits you. Because he has affected so many. And I'm sure that Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson have affected people's lives.
Right.
I mean,
but not mine.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the exposure that you got. Like, because for me, I was never the biggest Robin Williams fan, in the sense that, I didn't see all of his movies. I really didn't get that much exposure to Robin Williams. Whereas, for Whitney Houston, I was bawling my eyes out because, her music, really
Taught you English?
I'll punch you in the face. No. Well, no.
I hope not.
No.
I love you. Whoa. Speak and spell.
But it's
Hey, I want to dance with somebody.
The Greatest Love of All, for example, was probably one of the first songs that I've ever heard my parents, play in the house and stuff like that. But, when celebrities pass, they do, I think, affect people in different ways. And while on the one hand, it's like there is a distance, between you and the celebrity, obviously, because you don't know them personally or anything like that, but they do have an impact on you. And,
Right.
And I think that Robin Williams did have a huge impact on, a lot of people in our, as you said, in our generation, the generation before, on the film industry. And Dead Poet Society was actually,
is to this day one of my favorite films.
Yeah, mine too.
I adore them, not only because it was filmed in Delaware, but because it is one of my favorite films of all time.
It was, I watched it for English class one year, and since then it was one of my favorite films. And I think that with a celebrity passing, what it is that they have such a huge legacy that they've left behind.
And you can definitely say that for Robin Williams.
Yes.
Yeah. His legacy will be lasting for many, many years.
Yeah.
His brand of comedy, I think, will continue to shape comedians and actors for decades, if not even centuries to come.
Yeah.
And I don't think, it would have changed anything in the end, but, you wish, he could have seen all the lives he had impacted, easily millions of people, lives he's impacted over the years, for the better. And because he was it's a cliche, he was such a bright spirit. Like, he just made everyone around him happier, So, and so I wish his family the best. And you had mentioned his children. It's sorry to be more of a downer, but it's a shame what happened with his daughter Zelda. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
Yeah,
but,
she was getting
she was getting trolled. Yeah, she was on Twitter and she was getting trolled by two guys in particular, and she ended up just leaving Twitter. And I don't blame her at all. That is.
I don't know why anybody would do that.
Just because, and it's a shame what happened afterwards. The two guys were having a conversation afterwards online and said, "Hey, look, we're famous now." That's the reason. Just like, we're getting notarized for this, and now people know us. It is
depressing.
And it makes me want to punch a kitten. It makes me that angry.
No, I just want to punch them. Really.
I enjoy punching kittens personally.
Yeah, as do I.
Maybe not kittens, but full-grown
cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, cats.
We're obviously dog people here.
Yes, we're all dog people. Sorry. But we're going to move on, but I just wanted to say, thank you, Robin. You impacted all of us, and you will be sorely missed. So we're going to move on to a little bit of happier news. So we're going to get into the movie news, and the first bit up was something we actually talked about back in October, many, many, many months ago, which has finally now been confirmed. It's just been rumored for about 10 months. And it is that Beetlejuice 2 is happening.
Yeah.
So, it was rumored by Tim Burton and Michael Keaton back last October. They've been discussing it forever. They've been having little Twitter battles about what they want to do, and everyone has been listening. Well, about a week ago now, Winona Ryder came out, along with Michael Keaton, and said that they've practically all but been confirmed for the next movie, along with Tim Burton, who's now doing a first draft. So, this looks like it's happening. Here's my thoughts on this whole project. They have not gotten back, and Paul mentioned this earlier, they have not gotten back Alec Baldwin or Gina Davis.
Which
now,
doesn't really seem to matter too much unless they were to recast them.
Right.
Because I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but ghosts don't age.
No.
This is true.
And if they do, it's news to us.
Yeah, that's why they had to stop doing Angel.
Right.
It wasn't a bad show. He was aging.
All of them. I mean.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was a bad show. I almost smacked you with his mic.
No, I said, yeah. David Boreanaz and
Spike.
James Marsters were both. You could tell.
I really have to say, like, the final fight in Angel. Oh my God, had like one of the best lines. He was getting his ass handed to him by this guy, and the guy was like, "You really thought that you were gonna win this fight?" And he was like, "You know, I really saw this fight going differently." And he's like, "I have the blood of Wolfram and Hart running through my veins." And he was like, "Oh, can you think of what you shouldn't have said there?" And then he bit that motherfucker, and then he killed him. And I was like, "Here's my neck right here, Dave. Here it is. Come on. Come home and visit your dad, and then stop by my house."
Real nice.
Steve, I have to go out. Why? Angel's in town. Is it cheating if the guy once played an undead guy? I don't know. Is it cheating? According to Ghost Ship, it's not cheating if they're dead. Dress up as Angel.
Did you really just reference Ghost Ship?
Ghost Ship was awesome.
Oh my God.
Ghost Ship was awesome.
Ghost Shit. No, that was an awful movie.
Fuck you! That is one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah, because I like it just because it's so damn bad.
It's so good.
Oh my God.
It's so awesome. You've never seen Ghost Ship?
No.
We have to watch it. It's hilarious.
Look, if you're going to go with the stranded ship, go with Virus, the one with Jamie Lee Curtis. I actually like that one.
Were there zombies?
They're like mecha zombies. They're like
I'm so fucking sick of zombies. No, that's all right. I'll go with the ghost Latin dancer and the black guy who's just a fucker and falls down an elevator shaft. That's a way better. Yo, so everybody dies on this ship.
Hey, spoilers!
It's how the movie starts. Everybody dies on this ship because this cord breaks and slices everybody in half.
Admittedly, that's a cool scene.
It's awesome. And the little girl, she's dancing, and it goes right over her head.
Yeah.
But it cuts the guy in half that she's dancing with, who's the captain, and she looks up, and he's like, "Ugh," and then it just slides off. It's great. It's good. But I will say that movie is the reason that I always hated that character on Dexter, because he played the demon. Mm-hmm. So every time I was like, no! I don't trust you. You're a demon. My ex used to always be like, it's the wrong thing. No! He's a demon. Don't get on a boat with him.
But anyway, we digress way back to Beetlejuice. So,
It wasn't that far off.
no, we're pretty far off. Anyway, I have to say this.
Comedies. Comedies about horror.
So, the original came out in
Ghost Ship's
92, I think. 92, 93, somewhere in there. Maybe.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I don't
think
Was it earlier than that?
I think it was earlier than that.
1988.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was going to go with
Wow.
89.
What time warp was I in?
Some retarded one.
But anyway.
Same one that you said that Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring came out. What year did you?
Oh, I
think
said
you
99.
Yeah,
It came
I was
out
like,
in
what? No
2001,
way.
yeah.
What dope are you on? Like, can I get your dealer's a number?
Look, I remember the films well. I don't exactly remember what year they came out.
Jesus.
If it was before my time at the theater, I don't know what year it was.
Yo, Mike's pot dealer's got him losing time.
Anyway, so this movie is going to be heavily banking on nostalgia. I can feel that right now. But if they get
Tim
back...
Burton's a fantastic screenwriter, though. I mean, everything
Whoa,
he does...
no.
I mean, can I finish my irony? I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
God, I was saying how, unique and everything he does is so different. And
Okay.
But
Sorry.
No, never mind.
Sorry. I thought you look completely serious there for
I
a second.
always look completely serious. I have resting.
I was about to
bitchy
say,
serious days.
those are fighting words, Paul. Don't you dare. No.
Nobody's better than him. The only person better than him is Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Oh, God.
Maybe M. Night Shyamalan.
The first Beetlejuice is very Burton-esque, but it was before Burton-esque became a thing.
Yeah.
It was right when that was starting off. And I love the visual style of Beetlejuice. I really do.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, and it's not all Burton. You know, there is real practical stuff in there that's just buildings, and it's just the town, and it's just the home. I think that's great. Not everything looks like it's from the mind of Burton. Only, like, the other world, the dead world, and some of the stuff that woman designs is Burton.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that. I hope that Beetlejuice 2 will incorporate that. It's not going to be everything looks Burton-esque. No, it's not those bright colors everywhere and everything looks a little off, you know. I don't want to see another Dark Shadows or another Alice in Wonderland. I want to see that world of Beetlejuice brought back.
Alice in Wonderland was awful.
What? Yeah.
didn't see it.
Yeah, I agree with you with that.
I didn't see Dark Shadows. I heard it was good if you weren't looking for it to be like the show. I heard it was good.
Yes, but Kim, we saw that, and
You didn't like it?
no, not really.
Because the show was serious. It was like a soap opera or
Yeah,
some
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
And it was like hardcore serious. And the
I didn't know it
movie-
was a show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a soap opera, and it was like
Oh.
dead serious.
And that was the thing about the show is that
Get it? Dead.
Undead serious. Zing.
What was the what's the
hilarious.
vampire's name? Barnabas Collins. Yeah,
Barnabas.
Barnabas or Barnaby or something like that.
I think it's Barnabas.
But he wasn't brought into Dark Shadows until about 2 or 3 years into the show, because it was kind of like their last desperate act to try and get the show good ratings.
So what was the show about before that?
Yeah.
It was just about this family and their kind of like macabre ways. Kind of a little bit like Addams Family, but not that far.
Because they were alive?
Yeah.
Huh.
And then they brought in this guy, and it got really serious with him, you know, and him transitioning into that time period, and it worked, and it was great. But it was much more serious. The Tim Burton version just has way too many fish out of water moments, you know, with him pulling out the back of a TV and him looking at the golden arches of a McDonald's and trying to figure out what the hell it means, you know, and shit like that just annoys people who are like, okay, we're tired of seeing the fish out of water tale, you know.
I didn't mind it.
I did not really hate it.
I
I
didn't
just
like the end.
right. The
I can't
ending is
remember what
really,
happened.
really corny.
Stupid.
Right.
I can't remember what
For the
happened.
best.
Right.
Okay.
That and the ending just threw out so much shit out of nowhere. Like, where the fuck did
Yeah.
that come from?
Yeah.
But anyway, we digress. Beetlejuice 2,
Beetlejuice!
I would love to see this, and I pray that they do it justice, and that it's not just a nostalgia trip.
I
You
would
know,
rather they just leave Beetlejuice alone and have the.
I've wanted a
First
sequel for
one.
Beetlejuice since I was a little kid, though.
but I
Actually,
agree.
for about 3 years, I was convinced that there was one. It turns out my parents were just playing the movie again.
Did you ever watch
But why
the?
can't they just leave it with the animated cartoon?
I
Oh,
love the animated cartoon.
That was pretty
That was
awesome,
fantastic. The
Yeah.
intro to that is an acid trip.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
God.
intro is fantastic. It's like I wish that.
The only thing, like, even remotely acid, like, since then is fucking Freakazoid. Oh my god. That intro used to give me a headache.
Although the intro for Batman Beyond kind of did that with you.
Oh, yes! Oh my god, you're absolutely right, yo. Batman Beyond was something laced.
I know.
Oh my god.
Admittedly, that was a great intro. Though.
Oh my god, it was a phenomenal. And on Netflix, they stopped airing the intro like
Did
halfway through
they?
the second season.
Oh,
So
that's
like,
upsetting.
They air it like through all the first, but eventually it's just like, oh, this is the episode. And I'm like, no.
If you could give me that on a loop, like if I go to work out, I'll just listen to that intro music. That is good music.
I have done that. I have listened to the 2 Polynesian songs from Lilo and Stitch on loop at work when I'm stressed
Nice.
out. I don't understand what the fuck they're saying. I don't realize it's the same 2 songs until about lunchtime. Then I'm like, I have a headache now.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to our final news story, which really isn't a story. It just kind of made me a little sad about it, but it was that Robert Englund has worn the Freddie makeup for the last time. And what happened the other day was there was this kind of charity event. It was not a Comic-Con, but something like that, where Robert Englund put on the Freddie makeup from not Friday the 13th, but Nightmare on Elm Street. Put it on for the last time. And the last time he'd actually worn the makeup was Freddy vs. Jason. He actually hadn't worn it since then. So that's been almost 10 years. I think that movie came out in 2003, 2004, somewhere in there.
Kim, if you were married to Robert Englund, would you make him fuck you as Freddie?
Damn.
Only if he had those real long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, if you're gonna be the goddess of gore, you got to make that shit count. Like,
Welcome to my nightmare.
right? Like, I'm talking like some dirty shit. Like when you shut the lights off, like there's like fucking black light blood coming down the walls.
Yeah.
Like I could just hear Kim like, can you do me a favor? Can you like invite Jason over because
Did
I
you
just
see
feel
Freddy
like we
vs. Jason?
yeah, I kind of like that movie actually.
Dude, there's a scene in there. I don't think they cut it out. I think they cut it out from the TV versions, but the theatrical version, there's a scene where Freddy fucking fingers a girl with his bladed hand. It's like, good God!
That's what I was just talking about, bro.
Yeah, and yeah.
Your girlfriend wants you to get one of those hands.
That's not happening. Sorry.
Oh darn.
He's so close-minded. Like he's so afraid to just open up and be a freak. You're gonna lose your girlfriend. You're not gonna be a freak. You need to show up in the Jason, not Jason. Yeah, Jason. The Jason fucking get up.
Mask.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I'll stand behind you at the boombox until shit.
Miss
starts
Fangirl,
getting-
are you raising your hand? Oh,
Just
okay.
stretching.
Okay. But anyway, it took part during this thing called Flashback Weekend, where he agreed to slip on the Freddie Kruger. He agreed to slip on the Freddie Kruger skin one last time, and he wore the makeup throughout this event. Greeted fans wearing a flashback tee, and it wasn't the signature sweater. Sadly, that would have been really cool if he had worn that.
That's
But
a deal breaker.
yeah, and he participated in a series of photos and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool.
Do you have
of
the
him.
fedora?
He did have the fedora. I'm pretty sure he
So
had
you'd
that.
like make him stay dressed, right?
Oh yeah.
Like completely, like just like take it out, but keep everything on.
Of course.
Would you want that in makeup too?
like what, like a gnarled burnt
Yeah.
penis?
No.
No,
No,
that
I
could
wouldn't
also
want
like
the
cause
makeup
infections.
yeah.
Yeah, thinking
Cause
about that.
problems.
Yeah. You can't do this for another 3 weeks. I have a yeast infection from your makeup.
Oh my god!
From your dick makeup.
Jesus.
Oh, this is horrible.
Yeah, but I read that story and it made me happy that you put it on one last time, but at the same time it made me sad
The
because
dick makeup?
no, not dick makeup. No, that he had put on this makeup for one last time because now it tells me that Platinum Dunes basically has the rights to this on lockdown. Because Platinum Dunes was the ones who made the remake that I absolutely hated. That was the one with Jackie Earle Haley, and he was the only good thing about the movie. Everything else was complete bullshit. Now this is proof that they basically have the rights to this on lockdown. He basically had to get permission to wear the makeup again. Because from this point on, if there's going to be anything Freddy Krueger, it has to go through Platinum Dunes and fucking Michael Bay. This son of a bitch.
Michael Bay did that movie?
He was a producer, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He's a producer of a lot of those bad horror film remakes.
Really?
Really. He did Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Amityville Horror.
I thought Rob Zombie did Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Nope.
No,
He did...
he did Halloween,
Oh,
yes,
right.
which was not good.
No.
I thought it was all right. I fell
Wasn't
asleep before the end.
the first one wasn't too bad. The Halloween 2 done by him was bad.
Yeah.
That one was pretty
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Ugh.
Wasn't there a sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
There was a
the last one?
prequel.
There's
Texas
been a
Chainsaw
lot
Massacre,
of
the beginning, yeah.
Different Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
There is. There's about 9 or 10 at this point. Some with the original series, some that are with the remake.
All right, so for those of you, I've never even seen this movie, but for those, we don't need any more. There's this hillbilly family, and the kid wears a mask and chops people up with a chainsaw.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Right. That's
Fuck,
right.
we don't need any more.
That's right.
Rob Zombie did the same shit with House of a Thousand Corpses, and I'm like, why am I watching this?
Yeah, that
But-
was
I watched that with my dad, and
Weird.
it ended, and he's like, that was so good, and I'm like, you're fucked up.
House of a Thousand Corpses?
Yes.
I like that.
That movie was weird.
Now, Devil's Rejects, which was like the spiritual sequel to
Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses, that's kind of debated amongst fans. But House of a Thousand Corpses, he spent like 6 years making that movie.
It was a weird movie.
It was really weird, but that's why I liked it.
It was a weird movie. Like, they're underground, and all of a sudden there's all those fucking mutant people
Yep.
with the... Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What was the... Dr. Horrible or whatever his
Yep.
name was? No, it wasn't Dr. Horrible. It was Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan, yep.
It
right.
was Dr. Horrible's NPH.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Sing along.
Oh my god, he should be in House of a
What
Thousand
was
Corpses.
that?
That'd be
You wanna do a
great.
sing-along?
No,
Dr.
Dr.
Horrible's
Horrible's
sing-along
sing-along.
blog.
Oh.
Yeah. We've still yet to see that.
It's
sadly.
really good. I have the soundtrack in my car playing. It's really amazing.
But anyway, so Robert Englund donned the Freddy makeup one last time. That makes me happy, the fans got to see him in it one last time. But makes me sad.
Maybe he just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Oh, no, I don't really blame him for that. But at the same time, I don't think it's that I know he had fun with that character.
Yeah.
But I think it's not even really him. I think it's the studio saying, okay, we'll let you do it one more time, but from this point on, it has to be Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah.
Because I know they're working on a sequel to that awful fucking film. Because it did make a profit, you fucking bastards.
So did Ninja Turtles.
Oh, God, we're not going to get started on that shit. Oh, my God. Do you know how
Did
much
you see it yet?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
I have not.
Well,
It wasn't awful. It wasn't good, but it wasn't the
God.
worst thing I've ever seen.
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at
for
that.
now, maybe.
So we're going to get off of that, and we're going to get into the trailers. First one being The Equalizer.
Think you can be anything you want to be. Change your world. I promised I would never go back to being that person. But when somebody does something unspeakable to someone you hardly knew, you do something about it. Because you can. I'm here about a girl. 16 seconds.
It's Denzel.
Yeah.
I love Denzel.
Yeah.
He can do no wrong.
Denzel has like a film right at this point every year now. Have you noticed that?
No, what was the last one?
Last year it was Two Guns.
Oh.
And then the year before there
Is that
was
like a plane one?
Yeah,
Flight.
Flight. The year
Okay.
before that he had Flight, and that came out right around this time because it was kind of like Oscar season. Then before that he had something else. It wasn't The Negotiator, but it was something else like that.
The Negotiator's way.
Well, I know
older
that's way,
than
way
3
back.
years
But it was
ago.
another film like that where he had that sort of situation going on. You notice for a long time he was always the guy negotiating in films. He was doing that quite a lot. Like he was that, and then he was in Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
And then he was like, I want to shoot someone.
Yeah, and he did it in Man on Fire. He kind of did that for a while the same way.
It's like, hey guys, remember that movie where I had a machete? Can I do that some more?
Book of Eli, fucking A. I'm one of the few people who actually likes Book of Eli.
Really? You're
I didn't
one of the
see it.
few?
Yeah, that movie gets a lot of flack online.
Really? That's one of my
Well,
favorite movies.
they hate it because of the overly religious overtones.
I like that.
I haven't seen
Isn't
it.
that like the point?
Yeah.
When you
It
call
is.
it the Book of Eli.
Well,
Right.
yeah, but and my thing about Book of Eli was it's not necessarily that it's about Christian overtones. It's about having spirituality in the face of insurmountable odds. It could have been a Torah. It could have been a Quran. It could
That's
have
not
been
what
anything.
I got out of it.
Well, that's what I got out of it.
I got out of it
see
that
it.
you can use
I
religion
didn't
against
either.
people.
Well, that too.
Wait,
I
what
mean,
did you get out of it?
That you can use religion against people.
And that's what you got from the villains.
Right.
But what I got from Eli himself was, using spirituality to get you through tough times. It can be used as a weapon, absolutely, but also for those of right mind, it can be used as the greatest of ways to keep yourself alive. So anyway,
I think he survived because of a strong sense of smell, personally.
I still debate whether or not. And sorry, little spoilers here.
He was.
No, not for the whole film.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe that.
Yes.
No.
What parts?
His
Maybe.
No. His irises change from the beginning to the end. When you see him with his glasses off, his eyes are not that shade. And I think he went blind when he was out in the sun for so long. I don't think he was always blind in the movie. I think he went blind towards the end, which he then became, like the blind prophet. But early on, his eyes were a different color. So I don't think he was always blind.
I think that the only reason I'm going to argue this is because if he went blind halfway through the movie or at some point in the movie, there would have been a mention of, now I'm blind. The fact that he was blind at the end without any mention of it leads me to believe that that was part of the story that was implied upon until the end. Otherwise, there would have been a mention of, oh, I can't see as well because of the sun.
I don't know.
There would have been
You could
a
be
line
right.
of
You could be
dialogue.
right. That's just my theory. I like to think that he wasn't always blind.
You mean
But-
you don't think audiences are smart enough to
I don't think
figure
Mike's
things
smart
out
enough
on
to.
their own?
Really?
Just kidding.
Oh, are we doing that sarcasm thing again?
Yeah.
But anyway, so The Equalizer. I don't know if many of you know this, but this was actually a TV show in the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
It sounded
Yeah.
familiar.
It was a TV show in the late 80s based around basically the same premise, a guy with previous connections to the government somehow. You don't know if he's CIA, FBI, or something. And he's now trying to do just a regular honest guy's job, but ends up helping people when he sees that they're in trouble.
In Home Depot.
In Home Depot, yeah. And
I want to see him put one of those rubber mallets through somebody's face.
Oh yeah.
I like that clip in the trailer though. She's like, "Oh my god, my ring!" And he's like hanging up rubber mallets, and she's like looking around suspiciously. Did I leave the iron on?
I will admit, and you would compare it to something else. The 13-19 second thing. What did you compare it to? Was it Sherlock Holmes?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Do you remember the action scenes in the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah. When
Like
he was,
how?
yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't this
Like the slow
count,
motion
Yeah.
kind
He was
of,
like,
like-
this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kind of
He does
thing.
And it to me seemed like the fight scenes from Book of Eli, if you recall that, the way it was shot.
I liked that part though. He went in and he was like just like 15 seconds and he was counting.
Yeah.
But then when he looked down,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, 19 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And it's kind of like, you're not bad.
that's not a bad time because I haven't done this in a while.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
That was really good. And again, and what's the girl Chloe Moretz, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Is
Chloe
Moretz-
Moretz.
It's
Yeah.
Mortez. Isn't I always called her Mortez, and I kept getting corrected online.
okay, so
it's
it's
Chloe
Moretz?
Moretz or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Chloe.
I've liked her. There hasn't been anything she's been in that I haven't liked. Apparently, Kick-Ass 2 was terrible. I didn't see it.
And wasn't she in Dark Shadows?
She was in Dark Shadows.
She
yeah.
was.
Yeah. But she wasn't bad in that. This really didn't give her anything to do.
Yeah.
I don't think she's been in anything decent recently.
Well, she was in Let Me In, the remake of Let the Right
That
One
was a
In.
while though.
But I like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't think she's done anything decent in a while.
Yeah,
Which
fair
I don't
enough.
necessarily think is her acting. I think it's just the roles she's been taking.
Yeah, fair enough. But I do want to mention the director of this is Anton Fuqua.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah, who directed Training Day and Olympus Has Fallen, and one film which I torn between critics and fans, which was King Arthur. Now, Training
Which one?
Day... What?
Which King Arthur?
King Arthur?
With
That was the one
Keira
with
Knightley?
Clive Owen.
And Keira
Oh, I
Knightley.
like that one.
I wasn't a fan of that only because they kept saying, oh, this is what really happened, and it was complete bullshit. They were just pulling it out of a hat.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't what happened. at all.
I hated that. You know, if you want to tell a story about King Arthur and just, make it up as you go along, that's fine because no one really knows what happened. But don't sit there and tell me this is what happened.
It's
'cause
scientific
bullshit.
fact.
No.
That's what happened.
I totally feel like Reed Richards looked like Prince in that movie. He played Lancelot.
Yes.
And he was the guy who played Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. And I was like, he looks like Prince. Like, I can't take you seriously. I liked the movie. I
mean,
thought it was awesome.
If
And then there was that big guy with the axe or the hammer or something.
Yeah. Now, once I got past that whole thing, I was able to enjoy King Arthur. I just didn't like the whole thing of them touting it was truth. But
I was
anyway.
really upset when the big guy died.
Nah.
Aw. Goodbye, bear.
But anyway, Training Day, obviously another Denzel Washington film, is one of my favorite films. I love Training Day.
I have not seen it.
Really.
I've seen it, but I saw it really young. And
You saw that young? Who would let you
Yeah.
watch that when you're young?
I don't know.
Ah.
It was not a good idea.
No, it is
It
not.
was a really bad idea.
She had really negligent parents. She was just telling us earlier.
I
Did
can,
she let them-
I can
they
see
let her
you,
listen
like,
to
I don't know
Whitney
how
Houston?
old you were at the time. That came out, like, what, 2001? How old were you?
How many years ago was that?
That was 13 years ago?
Well, that's probably when I saw it.
14.
Okay.
So,
You were 14?
yeah, something like
You know
that.
she can't do math.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Why are you asking me how to do math? I can't do math.
We need a new Chinese.
What?
Someone who can do math.
I can't do math.
I can see, 14-year-old fangirl just sitting there like, what does he mean when he says getting your shit pushed in? Oh my God.
Yeah, I think most of that movie just, went whoosh
I
right
know.
over my head.
I was
I was just like, oh no, Denzel's the bad guy.
Uh-huh.
He's the bad guy at the end. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally just ruined it for
No,
everybody. Oh my God.
You realized that pretty early on that he...
I didn't realize it until the end.
No, I realized it pretty early on.
I don't
so-
remember
so-
what movie we're talking
I
about.
actually kind of got the inclination from just
Training
the
Day.
previews.
Training
So
Day.
But
I'm so sorry.
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm so
I'm gonna have to
sorry.
watch it.
So, The Equalizer, I'm looking forward to this. I think, it's very much Denzel just being Denzel. He's almost like this in every film now. He just goes on and he's just like, okay, I'm going to be the stoic, quiet guy again.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
he's-
Nothing wrong with that.
it's like him and Liam Neeson are gonna end up being in like the next Expendables movie.
Oh my god. You made the fangirl squeak.
That would be so awesome. Oh
Like
my god.
he's just gonna go up and be like, I tried to get out of this life and I couldn't, and he's gonna be like, they took my daughter. And then they're gonna kill all of the Expendables.
And then Dill's like, yeah, I have her.
Yeah, I have her right here. At the very end, you're gonna find out he's the villain and he's blind, and they're gonna kill everybody but Jason Statham, and he's gonna go, by the way, I'm Handsome Rob. Take my car."
Real nice.
Kelsey Grammer's gonna be there like, why the fuck am I here? I don't get it. It wasn't an action movie. It was CGI, and I had blue makeup on.
By the way, did you hear how poorly that movie performed this past weekend?
Oh, the Expendables 3.
Oh my god, it tanked. It came in 4th. Opening weekend came in 4th. It came in behind Let's Be Cops.
I actually want to
That's
see
a
that
sh-
movie.
that's
I
a
kind of really
shame.
want to see
Kind
that
of a
movie.
little bit do too.
Yeah,
No, but
totally.
seriously, like
Yeah,
I understand that, you know, the Expendables may not be the go-to movie right now, that there's bigger films out there, you know, with Guardians and Turtles.
Yeah, and
but at the
Let's Be
same
Cops.
time, it's fucking Expendables. I don't expect it to get beat out by Let's Be Cops. Wow.
I think it kind of makes sense because of the crowd. Like, it's the summer crowd, right? Like, you know, college students or kids, you know, for Ninja Turtles or, you know, Let's Be Cops would be college students and stuff. I mean,
I don't know. I maybe the bubble has finally burst on the Expendables. That's the only thing I can
Bill,
say.
I want them
know.
to make another one.
They were planning on making a 4th. I don't know if we're going to see a 4th. now.
I still
Denzel and
with
Liam
Denzel, I
Neeson.
know.
Well,
Denzel.
well,
Denzel's just be the
they've
next
already
one.
confirmed they're making the Expendables.
Yes,
We've already confirmed
which
that.
I am totally excited about.
That looks intriguing. They've already got Sigourney Weaver on board, so we just got to see who else they get on board for that.
Zoe Saldana. That'd be fucking awesome.
Zoe Saldana would be a good pickup. She's been in a
I
lot.
think. I mean, if they
Colombiana.
don't have Michelle Rodriguez, it'd be weird.
It would be.
Michelle
I mean,
Rodriguez.
even
I
though
don't
she's
like Michelle Rodriguez.
I know a lot of people don't, but I really like her for some reason.
I also
I
like
just do. I don't know why. I just do. It's like blind. Like, I don't know why. I just really like her.
But anyway, the Equalizer. Your guys' thoughts? I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks
too.
quite interesting.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, I'll probably see it.
Okay. So moving on from that, our next film is Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Dude, he's been shot in the dick. You don't have to touch it that hard.
My hand is acting as a tourniquet.
Well, you work his dick, whatever.
He needs more time.
Then we'll give him more time.
Holy shit.
We gotta stop the killer before he shoots Lou. We get blackout drunk, we wake up back in time. Don't mess with the winning formula, huh?
There's not a whole lot we have to say about this one because
It's the fucking same as the first one.
it is. It kind of is just, you know, it's
just
No,
go in
they're
the-
going in the future.
go in the other direction.
no, it is. It's The Hangover 2. It's a different place, same scenario. That's really all it is. And despite that, I kind of want to see it. You know, it looks like they're having fun. Now, a couple of things about this. One, John Cusack is not coming back, which tells me, one, what kind of a screenplay do you have when even John Cusack won't come back for your fucking
You
film?
are such a dick. John Cusack is the man.
Did
like
you
John
see
Cusack.
2012? Everybody makes mistakes.
I'm very hit and miss with John Cusack.
I mean,
no, don't get me wrong. I
Jake
like
Gyllenhaal's the man too, but he did Prince of Persia.
this is true. Now, Prince of Persia was
Garbage.
bearable.
It was garbage.
There's a common joke about that movie that the only reason Ben Kingsley signed on because he actually thought he could go back in time and reverse all his bad films. He's like, no more Blood Rain, no more Sound of Thunder, no more Thunderbirds. I never made those movies.
Yeah, you did.
But anyway,
He was in Blood Rain?
yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't see that movie.
Blood Rain is one of the worst films of all time.
It looks awful.
But anyway, so John Cusack, I'm very hit and miss with him. I liked him in was it 1409, which was
The hotel movie?
yeah, which was based off a
One
Stephen
of-
King short story.
One of my favorites, yeah.
I really
actually saw that one.
yeah. Now very little to do with the short story, but still quite good. I liked 1409.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah. More films like that, you know, where it's just that claustrophobic one room, and you can do that on a really small budget, you know, just that one room claustrophobic
But it
feel.
wasn't just one room.
It wasn't.
He got out.
Well, don't spoil it.
It's okay. I spoiled Training Day for everybody.
No, it's
already.
okay. But
Did you see? I think it was Identity.
I love that movie.
That was good.
Oh yeah, I did like
that.
Identity. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean he's done like The Martian Child. I really liked. It was
What
a
was that?
drama. The Martian Child.
I've never seen that.
He adopted a kid. He was a writer, and he adopted a kid. I don't remember why. And the kid thought he was a Martian. He wasn't, but it was a really cute drama. And then they were all happy together and shit in the end. Amanda Peet was in it. Amanda Peet's pretty awesome too.
She was also in
Yeah, she was.
Identity.
She was also in Identity. They've got to be dating.
Or boning, at least.
I mean, who wouldn't bone Amanda Peet? She's cute as shit.
The one
Was being John Malkovich, was that a good movie? I'd never.
I
saw it.
liked being John Malkovich.
Well,
it's
that's
good.
John
I didn't
Cusack
see
too,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Say anything.
Serendipity.
Serendipity.
I wasn't a fan of Serendipity.
I don't think even I was, and I like romantic comedies, but you know.
I never saw it.
Anyway, moving on. So all the original cast is coming back for this, and they're also adding Adam Scott. And
I love Adam.
He looks
I
like
like
he's
Adam
now the
Scott.
fourth. And I like Adam Scott.
Adam Scott's awesome.
It's funny. He's always on that thing
like
on
his
Adult
head.
Swim, which is what the greatest movie event ever told or something like that.
No, the greatest television event
Yeah.
ever. or
And
something.
they always do it like every 6 months, and it's always funny. They're just doing the intro for some
Yeah, they're
70s or
remaking
80s. Yeah, it's so
intros of
fucking
old
stupid.
TV shows.
But it's always funny, and it's like, they got, like $80 million to remake the intro for some stupid 70s or 80s sitcom,
Yeah.
and someone dies during the shooting every time,
I like Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Me too.
Party
But-
Down is pretty awesome.
Oh, Party Down's amazing. That's also Rob Thomas. They're for Veronica Mars.
You will,
Matchbox 20.
you will tie anything back to Veronica Mars.
Because everybody should see Veronica Mars. But no, Rob Thomas created Party Down, and he also created Veronica Mars.
But more importantly, Matchbox
Veronica
20 is a
Mars.
great band.
No, he's not. Not the same dude.
Doesn't matter.
Not the same dude.
I'm about to bust into some Matchbox 20.
But anyway, so all of the original cast looks like they're coming back for this, and they're also adding
Except for those with self-respect.
right, but they're also adding who was it? Chevy Chase?
Chevy Chase.
No,
Yeah.
he was. Was he not also the hot tub repairman in the first one?
I don't think so. Was he?
I didn't see the first one.
Pretty sure he was.
But who was the guy who was in Back to the Future who came in at the end? I thought he was the repairman.
Going Back to the Future.
Yeah, the guy who played Marty's dad.
The creepy thin man.
Yeah.
Creepy thing.
Yeah, creepy thin man. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine. I thought he was the repairman. I could be wrong. I just remember him being in the movie.
I'm pretty accustomed to you being wrong.
Yeah.
Say.
No, I'm
way
pretty
way,
sure it
way the
was-
universe.
But the first one I was
No,
surprisingly.
he was the repairman in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Okay.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase.
Okay.
So he's just back again.
Okay. Well, sorry. You were saying?
I was pleasantly surprised at the first movie. It was a lot funnier than I thought it was going
Yeah,
to be.
it had some good moments. It did.
So
So
I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't think this one would be a terrible
no, and
letdown.
right, and you gotta hope that the moments they're showing in the trailers and previews are not the funniest parts of the movie. That they're just giving it all away. But there were some parts in here that had me laughing pretty loudly. I was like, okay, yeah, that you're going the right direction with this. Some jokes fell flat. The whole "you're a fucking nerd" thing just kind of fell flat. But everything I got a laugh out of it. Yeah, and I like the alternate reality they're telling with this. That Rob Corddry is now like the father of the internet. He created Lugal, which is kind of funny. And then they're all spinning off and creating their own hit songs and inventing things. I think that's kind of funny.
I did like that. He's like, nah, I wrote a single, and then it was Stay.
You
He's like,
say
Yeah.
I only hear what I want to.
no, it was that song by that girl.
Yeah, that girl.
Lisa Loeb.
That
Yeah. But yeah, I'll see this. I'm pretty sure I'll see this.
He totally was dressed up like fucking Boys to Men too.
Oh yeah.
Like he had the glasses and all. Like you look like Billy Zane's penis, only not as attractive. He said, "Yeah, I wouldn't argue that." I'll probably see it.
So, moving on from that, we have the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water.
In 2015,
A giant hairy porpoise! Beast!
We need to get these guys back in the water. Put her back in the water. This place smells awful.
comes the 3D motion picture event, so hot.
Oh, where have you been all my life?
This is uncomfortable.
And so extreme.
There's the book! Now it's our turn to rewrite the story.
You'll need new pens.
Those guys must work out. I think they're in my spin class.
Okay, so I don't like this, and here's why. My sister used to watch this show, and there was an episode where they went out of the water, and they were on the beach, and they all dried up and died.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they became actual real life
Yeah.
sponge and a starfish
Right.
and a crab.
And
Right.
so
And
I
a
don't like this.
squid
And a
with a
squirrel
big nose.
with a
And a
fucking
squirrel.
thing on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
so
a
I don't
cowboy
like
hat
this.
or something.
Right.
The breathy
Helmet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The fishbowl is really what it
Right.
is.
So are they just pulling, a full
They're just pulling shit out of their ass.
yeah, they're pulling shit out of their ass. Like, how the hell are they surviving on the sand now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it makes me think that, there's this captain, this evil guy. Is it Antonio Banderas?
Yes.
Really?
it is.
Yeah. It's hard to tell
Yeah.
first. Yeah, it's Antonio Banderas.
I love Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. Antonio Banderas is apparently making bad kids movies.
Yeah.
Sort of
Well,
a
no.
Spy
Spy
Kid.
Kid.
He
I
was
was
doing
gonna
that with
say,
Spy
do you
Kids for
remember
a
Spy
while.
Kids?
That's what I meant. He's been
Oh,
that's
man.
his thing now.
Admittedly, he was kind of funny in the first couple Spy Kids. Then it's just like, okay, Antonio, come on, dude.
He's
You are
Puss in
better than
Boots,
this.
though.
And he was good as Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Great as Puss in Boots.
But, he's Antonio Banderas. You think he could do some better work?
Yeah.
Isn't he in the new Expendables movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously he's still making bad decisions.
Buzzing. But anyway, so with this, I couldn't have raised that better, Paul. I was just like, yeah, they're not allowed on the beach. They can't get out of the water. So how is this happening?
They have to have special
Stuff.
breathing
Now,
water
right.
fish bowls.
Yeah.
Right. And you,
Even to go into Sandy's dome.
right,
Yeah.
they need to, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
A
don't
bunch
know.
of bull.
I know.
The logic behind this movie is too flawed for me to accept it.
I don't know. I did see the first SpongeBob movie, and I thought some of it was pretty funny. But this one does not.
I like the
look
first movie.
like
I
it would
did.
be funny. Like, I think SpongeBob has just been out of pop culture for so long that
It has.
When
No
did
one really
SpongeBob
cares.
come about? Like when?
It
was
came out in 98, 99.
Really?
It's
That
old
It's
as
been
shit.
out for that long.
Yeah.
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 Here's the thing you have to remember. The original Nicktoons, like Rugrats, Ren and
Yeah.
Stimpy, all them, SpongeBob was the final one of the
Yeah.
original Nicktoons.
Oh, I
That's
didn't
how
know
old it
that.
is. Yeah.
That's actually when I left the States, and that's why I actually have never seen an episode of SpongeBob
Oh.
before.
It's okay. You're
and
not
Some of
missing
it-
much.
Yeah, the
some of
last
it's
few they
funny.
had were
I'm
like
not gonna lie.
the last few Nicktoons they had were like All Real Monsters, Kaboom.
that scared me.
Kablam.
Oh,
Kablam.
Kablam, not Kaboom, Kablam.
You know what was
Um,
good though? Did you ever see the Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah.
The Fairly Odd Parents was pretty baller.
Yeah.
That's funny shit. The movies for that are fucking awful though.
They're all
I
fantastic.
actually just watched one the other day with my niece.
Except they did do a live
It
action
was
one.
it was live
They
action.
did, with the one with Drake.
Mm-hmm. Drake
I
Bell.
didn't quite understand
And they were
that.
like on vacation in Hawaii.
Ugh.
I was like, I don't know what is going on.
He's like still in the second grade or some shit.
No, I think this was like a second movie.
Oh, they did another one with
Yeah,
Drake? Oh, lordy.
Oh Lord.
Because he was still with Tootie, so I'm assuming it was just the second
Oh.
movie from the first one.
But yeah, so SpongeBob was, I think, the final of the original Nicktoons. It's been out that long, so it's been almost, 15, 16 years this show's been going. It's probably getting up there with like one of the longest running animated shows, up there with The Simpsons and South Park and
I don't
Family Guy, you know?
think They're still making
New
new
ones?
episodes.
They are.
They
They
are.
actually are.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should have continued making new episodes of the Rugrats.
They tried.
They
They did
did.
all grown up and
But
it's
Yeah,
that was different.
no,
That's not
I
the
didn't like that.
same.
I
I mean, the
know.
Rugrats were the Rugrats.
Okay, and please don't take this the wrong way 'cause it's not meant to be offensive. But after they did the second movie and they introduced little Chinese girl, shit went to hell. She just did,
Kimmy?
yeah, the Chucky's sister.
Yeah.
Like she did, the dynamic just did not work properly.
Well, I mean,
I
I,
don't
think
remember
even,
that character
even
at
with
all.
Dill.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the same.
Stupid
No,
Dill.
Dill was after the first movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Dill was all right.
But
He's just
you
kind of
know.
there.
Yeah, he didn't really because he couldn't
Because he's a
walk or-
baby.
Dill kind of
Yeah.
held up Olgard up though.
Uh,
He was like the funniest fucking part. I'm pretty sure he was autistic.
Wow.
Gosh.
No, I'm
anyway,
not joking. I'm pretty sure he was autistic.
Getting back to SpongeBob, so the director for this, not that really matters, but it actually does a little bit, is Paul Tibbitt. Now, I bring that up because he is the screenwriter for the television show, as well as the original screenwriter for the first SpongeBob movie. So he's coming on to be director of this, and is also storyboarding and writing the screenplay for this. So that makes me a little more hopeful. It looks like, because I like the first SpongeBob movie. I thought it had some pretty promising moments. And if we can bring that same spirit back, I think it'll be good. Now, we've already pointed out one of the big problems with this. We don't know how they're going to try and fix that. There's obviously something going on where...
No, they won't waste the time.
No, I don't know. I feel like they have to address it somehow, because it's come up so much in the show that they dry out when there's not water, that I feel it has to be addressed somehow. If they just forget it, that's going to be really screwed up of them. So we can only hope they address that. But that being said, there were some points in this I laughed. I got a couple chuckles out of this trailer. Not just at the thought of Antonio Banderas working on this thing.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I still did not recognize him. Like, I don't know, maybe I didn't put it together in my head or something.
We'll watch this again after
Yeah.
we record, and you'll recognize him immediately. Once you look at him, like, yeah, that's Antonio Banderas.
Like, as soon as I saw Antonio Banderas, it kind of took me out of
Really?
SpongeBob. Yeah. I was like, oh, no. Nah.
Admittedly, the plot is a little weird. There's this book, and if you
it
write
doesn't make any sense, because it's the last page looks like it's supposed to be the secret Krabby Patty formula.
Right.
Which is what Mr. Krabs has.
Right.
Locked
So
up
it's
in
this
his
little
safe.
tiny page and this really big book. How does that work? But anyway.
Yeah, that also made me angry.
So
Unless that's not true. Like, because the way that they showed it, it looked like it was the same paper that was the Krabby Patty formula.
It was.
In the show
I'm almost
that Mr.
sure it
Krabs
was.
had
Yeah.
in his safe.
Right. I love how we're breaking down the plot intricacies of fucking SpongeBob.
What
Well,
is it? Like, you write down
me
your
angry.
wish or something?
You write down something and it just comes true automatically. Yeah.
That actually, when I first watched the trailer, it reminded me of Death Note.
Yes. Yes, it's pretty much Death Note.
Yeah.
Do you know what Death Note is?
No.
It's an anime.
anime.
Came out a few years ago, and it's a book where any name you write in the book, that person will die. And so the one of the intricacies is there's this character called L. He doesn't give out his name, and he tries to solve the mystery of who holds his book. Because he doesn't want to give out his name in case person he knows has the book, therefore they can kill him.
Yeah.
And I like Death Note.
Yeah,
I
I never actually saw the anime. I just saw the movies.
I never saw the movies.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
I saw it because of the actor that was in it. But
Were they live action movies? Oh, okay.
they
Oh,
had like
really?
yeah.
I'll have to check them out.
I think Nina was in it, but that means nothing to any of you. So.
Sorry. Anyway, we digress. So, yeah. So you have this book, which is basically just an excuse to make up whatever the hell you want in a screenplay. Give them superpowers now, and Patrick has ice cream superpowers, which is a little funny, but makes me think, what are the other guys gonna have? Is Skidward? Wow.
I thought you were going to say Skittles.
Skittles. Is Squidward gonna have, the power to finally play his clarinet well, or is Mr. Krabs gonna be able to summon a ton of money, or you don't know what's going on, but this, I don't know. I really want this to be good because I like the first movie actually quite a lot. The first one, of course, had that little bit of, quirkiness where you saw David Hasselhoff come out of fucking nowhere and help him, and he's just skimming across the water,
Yeah, like a boat.
I know. And stuff like that just made it funny,
He made a dolphin noise, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He jumped out of the water or something like that. Yeah, I hope this is good. I don't have high hopes for it, but I hope it is good. So, moving on from that, we're going to get into a couple of trailers which are just a little on the weird side. First one being Birdman.
We had it all. You were a movie star, remember?
Who is this guy? He used to be Birdman.
I like that poster.
You wrote this adaptation?
I did, yeah.
And you're directing and starring in your adaptation. That's ambitious.
Are you afraid people will say you're doing this play to battle the impression that you're a washed-up comic strip character?
Absolutely not. That's why 20 years ago I said no to Birdman 4.
Birdman 4? You do Birdman 4?
Now you're about to destroy what's left of your career. You know I'm right.
You're so nice!
Hey, what's up? Why don't you try to rest a little bit?
Baby, can you understand me?
Now,
It looks kind of cool.
it's very confusing.
Very confused.
Now,
Okay.
a little side note. This movie is actually called Birdman or
Yeah.
The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
I saw that in the
So,
thing.
about this, does anyone think this is like an alternate tale of something like Deadpool? Because he has the voice in his head always telling him stuff that isn't his own voice. I'm like...
But
this
Deadpool's is always his own voice.
Not always.
Yeah, it is.
I thought he always had the other voice in his head.
It's all him. He argues with himself. It's all him.
But I don't know. You could
Regardless,
be right.
I think this movie looks kind of interesting because it's like the mental breakdown of an actor who played a superhero who
Right.
thinks he's a superhero.
Right.
I'm intrigued.
So he's just going out, he's just seeing like big mechanical birds and Apache helicopters. It's like, holy hell, And I would love to see this. Now, first thing I have to say is, no, this is not attached to Harvey Birdman. This has little to nothing to do with that story. Now, do you guys know who Harvey Birdman is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an Adult Swim show for a while. Now, it was originally like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. You had Space Ghost and Birdman, all them. Then he became a parody on Adult Swim where he was called Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, where he was defending old classic Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Okay. He would defend the Flintstones and Scooby and the Gang and Jetsons, whatever have you. Right. Well, I love that show. And at first, when I saw Birdman movie, I'm like, oh my God, please make a Harvey Birdman film. I would love that.
That's what I thought too. At
Oh.
first. And then when I saw the trailer start, I was like, oh, maybe it's about that guy who was in prison. They called him Birdman, maybe. I don't know if they actually called him that or not. It was in like Alcatraz or something, and he had the birds.
Right.
His parents were talking about him the other day.
Right, something like that.
I was like, oh, maybe that's what it is. And we're like, nope.
That's not it either.
Yeah,
Nope.
and then
He's
I was
levitating.
thinking,
Yeah.
and then I was thinking it was the basketball player.
Larry Bird.
Wow.
No! Oh my gosh, no! Guys, no! The Birdman. I think he's playing for the Lakers now. Or the Heat. I can't remember. Hold on. Now I need
Bird.
to know.
Totally Larry
It's
Bird.
not Larry Bird.
It's that tall white guy who was in Space Jam.
It's Chris Anderson.
He's Birdman?
Chris Anderson?
Oh wait, Karen's favorite movie is Space Jam. She knows who Larry Bird is.
Oh my gosh, I also watch basketball. Oh my goodness, I know who Larry Bird is.
I actually didn't know people watched basketball until about 3 years ago.
This, by the way, yes, he was playing for the Miami Heat, and then now he is with the Nuggets, I think.
Looks like a tool.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, why would they make a movie about him?
Yeah, he does look like a tool.
I want to see the tool. Yep. Yep, he's an idiot.
I didn't understand it.
He looks like a Chris Anderson. I want to see this
like
movie.
A Larry Bird.
Yeah, no, I
He
really
looks
want to
like
see
a
this
Larry
now.
Bird.
Not Larry Bird.
Now, about the director of this, his name is Alejandro Gutierrez Inarritu. That
He
last
sounds
name.
familiar.
Yeah, he directed 21 Grams and
I think I know him.
no. Well, you know his work, which is 21 Grams and Babel. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, have you seen either of
I
them?
have seen neither of them,
Yeah.
but I know of both of them.
Was
Okay.
Brad Pitt in Babel?
Yes.
Yes, I saw that
And
one.
both of those were
That was
very
good.
critically acclaimed films,
Yeah.
both of which were nominated for a ton of Academy Awards. I think Babel won for Best Screenplay. I sadly haven't seen all of Babel. I've seen up until the very end, and I was really liking Babel. So I really like this director.
Okay, when Babel first came out, I thought, Babelfish, like the translating device.
Yeah.
I thought it was about that or something, and I was really confused for the longest time. Anyway, continue.
That's okay. So I'm really looking forward to this, and this has a great cast behind it. It has not only Michael Keaton, but Emma Stone, Zach Galifianakis.
I saw Naomi Watts.
There's a couple other people in there who make me think like, wow, this has a lot of good people attached to it.
Yeah.
And I like the one scene where he's being interviewed, and he's saying, I turned down Birdman 4, and he's like, Birdman 4, yes, you make Birdman 4. It's like, oh god. Oh man, and I can only think, if you have someone like, who would be like this? oh God, it'd be like Hugh Jackman. In 10 years, everyone's saying, "Oh, you're gonna make another Wolverine, right? Oh, another Wolverine. Oh, we're gonna see another Wolverine, right?" He's like, "Dude, I'm 60. Like, no more Wolverine. Oh, you're gonna make another Wolverine? No." And he's going on. He's still trying to do musicals, and he's trying to do more serious work. He's out on stage, Wolverine. And then I could see him snapping, walking down, down the street. He sees sentinels flying overhead.
You're our last hope.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Christian Bale's gonna be walking by. Dude, I get the same shit, man. They keep calling me John Connor. I did that shit for one movie.
Real nice. But I'm looking forward to this. It looks really insane, and that's the kind of film I get into really easily. So moving on from that, the next trailer we have up is Horns.
How do I look? Did you notice anything unusual?
In horns?
What are they?
You know how I think we should proceed? I should grind me up some OxyContin and have a little snort.
Everyone in this town is going crazy. I think it's because of me and these horns.
You killed that innocent girl. Now the devil has claimed you.
I didn't kill her father, and now people are telling me all these things I don't want to hear.
I'm so bad. I'm bad. I'm pretty enough to be on TV, right?
We gotta figure out who really killed Marin and get him to confess.
I would never hurt her.
Tell me everything that happened.
The goddess actually kind of geeked out about this one initially because she saw that Joe Hill was attached.
Well, because the first thing I saw it that you said we were gonna talk about it when I was down the beach, and I didn't really have good internet connection. And I was like, "Oh my God, is this the about the book from Joe Hill?" And you were like, "I don't know." And I was like, so I just watched. I got to watch until I saw that it said based on the book by Joe Hill. I was like, "Yes, I love that book. I love Joe Hill. He's awesome."
Now, do you guys know who Joe Hill is?
Nope.
No.
He's
Stephen King's son.
Oh.
Yeah.
and his name is actually Joseph King, but his pen name is Joe Hill. Yeah. And he's written 3 or 4 books thus far.
He's written 20th Century Ghost, Heart-Shaped Box, Horns,
And Nosferatu.
and Nosferatu.
Yeah. But Horns is one of his books.
No.
And it's gotten pretty good reviews. I mean,
It was good. It wasn't. I think the Heart-Shaped Box, I think, was actually like scary, but Horns was good, but it wasn't as like scary.
I think it looks really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a
excited
neat
to
like
see it.
idea.
Yeah, like I kind of like the way like it was kind of portrayed. I mean, from the trailer itself, I wasn't really sure what it was about.
Yeah.
But from the way that I saw it through my stupid little eyes, was
Wow. That's awful. Through my stupid little eyes.
She can't really open them very wide.
Oh my God.
that wasn't where I was going, but but I kind of saw, like, again, I didn't see what it was about. Like, I don't know if, Daniel Radcliffe's character actually killed his girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
You don't know. You feel like he has a hand in it, but you don't really know.
Yeah, but kind of like almost playing out metaphorically the way that labeling affects people.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I geeked out about it. Like,
Right.
I thought that was really interesting.
The stuff I liked was how he's turning the town on each other. That's the stuff I liked.
Well,
like,
at least in the book, it was people just because he had these horns, whatever, it affected them, and they just like
would go nuts.
blurted out
Right.
things to him, like, "Oh, I
cheated on my
shoved
husband."
I cheated on my husband," something like that. Some
The
of them
one
were
chick
really
was
funny.
like, "Don't you think I'm pretty? I came here to be an actress."
Yeah.
And just how the media starts beating the hell out of each other. It's just like, "I'll give you an exclusive if you guys fight for it."
Yeah.
That cracked me up. I wish more people would do that in life. Like you got like TMZ following you around. It's like, you know what? I'll give you guys an exclusive. Whoever is alive at the end.
Right.
It's like more people need to do that.
That actually would make,
It would get paparazzi out of here. It'd be fantastic.
Only.
But
I would never ever would have ever pictured Daniel Radcliffe as the lead guy.
Right, and that what?
But he looks like he's going to do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the way the character was described has a little bit like different presence, like build and everything, but I can get past it. So
Okay.
It looks like he can do a good job.
There are a couple times where his English accent tweaked through in this trailer.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's alright. I can get past it.
Yeah.
It's like that with any actor. I always forget the actor's name, but he played Draco. It was the same thing in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Every so often his English accent would tweak through, and you're just like,
Tom Felton.
yeah, there you go.
that's
Yeah,
it.
and it's
I
good.
hated
I was
him
about
in
to
that
Hiddleston? Not Hiddles.
I would say I know you'd be seeing those films if Tom Hiddleston was in it.
Gross.
As far as horns go, yeah. So it's this kid who has a girlfriend who ends up dying. You don't really know how, whether or
Not
not.
a kid. He's an adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone is a kid to
thing,
me.
though. But that's the thing, though. I can't see Daniel Radcliffe not as Harry Potter.
Right, not as like a kid in high school.
Exactly. So it's really weird. Like every time that he has to play somebody who's older than 17,
Right.
I'm really weirded out by it because I'm just like, but he's 17. He's going to be forever 17.
And you know what? I'm glad we followed this trailer up from Birdman because 30 years from now, he's going to be getting, "Hey, Harry!" It's going to be somebody who's like, "Fuck you! I've done 40 other movies! I've won 2 Academy Awards! Fuck you! Hey, Harry!" It's son of a...
Let's be serious. We really think he's going to win an Academy Award?
Yeah. God. But... as far as this, yeah, he grows horns out of nowhere, and you see at one point he's like, grinding against the wall, trying to grind them off or something. Mm-hmm. But the town just turns on him because he's like now the physical representation of evil, And I like how he gets a snake and a pitchfork. You're like, oh my god, is he
Where'd you
actually
get the snake? I made a friend.
I made a friend. So it looks like either he's trying to personify the part, or he actually is becoming that. You don't really know. Yeah. But this intrigues me. This really intrigues me. Yeah.
If it sticks to the book, I'll like it because the book had funny parts and like it wasn't strictly like drama and
just
whatnot.
Pure drama horror.
Right.
Okay. And that makes me a little more excited for it. Mm-hmm. Now the director of this, I actually mentioned it in the preview, was Alexandra Aja, who had directed The Hills Have Eyes, the remake, and Piranha 3D. Now, I like both those films. The Hills Have Eyes remake was pretty good. I still prefer the original, but it was okay. And Piranha 3D was a lot of fun. It was stupid, silly horror. Just chuck logic out the window. But for what it was fun. Now, Piranha 3DD was fucking shit. But
the double D?
Yeah, Piranha 3 double D, whatever. I just call it 3DD.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
3
Diddy, yeah. The original one with Christopher Lloyd and Elizabeth Shue and was Vin Rames on that? I can't recall.
No, I think I'm
confused. Doesn't matter. But I liked that. So he's gone from these 2 films into this. So he is kind of in the horror genre, but. Right. This is something completely outside of what he's been working on, He's been more darker horror and then more silly horror. This is more...
in between.
More in between, yeah. So,
So it's not completely out of the realm.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes with this, It looks like there are parts that are really silly and over the top, and there are other parts which, are going to dive into that really darker part of, did he do this to his girlfriend? What happened to his girlfriend,
right.
So... I'm looking forward to this. I really hope Daniel Radcliffe is up for this. Again, he's been doing great work outside of Harry Potter series,
I think he's been better as not Harry than he has been Harry. Yeah. And I mean, I love the Harry Potter series, don't get me wrong, but I was so annoyed. I think it was just more the character more than anything. So I think he has been doing better work outside of Harry Potter.
Okay.
I think. I actually haven't seen any of the work. I've only seen trailers of his work. But even then, it's like...
We saw The Woman in Black, and I like The Woman in Black. I thought he was okay in it.
And he's been doing really well on Broadway.
Yeah, he's been doing very well on Broadway.
So
how to succeed in business without even trying.
So, we're going to move on from that to a trailer which has me a little upset. I'm going to do my best to not rant, which is Left Behind.
I know you all want answers, and believe me, so do I, and I'll do my best to get them.
I heard some doctors talking. It's not just here. It's all over the world.
One of these days, the sky's gonna break.
Chloe, are you okay?
Yeah, but Mom and Raimi, they're both gone.
One of these days, the mountains are gonna fall into.
Irene knew this was coming. The way it happened. How could she know that?
We're currently watching The Leftovers, which seems to have the same premise.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really twisted and weird.
Now,
I'm
to be
having
fair,
hold on.
Oh, sorry.
I'm having a hard time really staying invested in that. And I really hate Nicolas Cage. So I really feel like this movie's just gonna piss me off.
Now, I'm glad you bring that up. Now, a couple of things. The Leftovers swear that it's not the Rapture. They like to say that over. Apparently, in the show, they're saying no, this wasn't the Rapture.
Oh, it's a show.
Yeah. The Leftovers.
The Leftovers. is a show.
Leftovers, not Left Behind.
Not Left Behind.
No.
Both Nicolas Cage is a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Leftovers is a show on HBO.
Yeah, it picked up the slot that Game of Thrones was on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, Left Behind was originally a 16-book series. This came out in the 80s and 90s. And this series was about a modern-day rapture, about revelations and end times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the books were moderate success, but they're heavily criticized by not only people who weren't Christians, but they're heavily criticized by people who had read the books and say, yeah, this isn't even a good representation of Revelations. There are people who came out and said, you know what? There are a lot of facts you get wrong in this, and it's not just because you're trying to dramatize it for Hollywood. This shit wouldn't happen even if it was the Rapture. So you're really just...
And this is for the movie you're talking about?
This is from the books.
Oh, the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie's based on.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then there was a 91-92 film starring Kirk Cameron, and he actually helped finance and produce the film. That is considered one of the worst films of all time. One, because you can tell they're really, really trying to hammer home the whole Christian message. But here's why it was a huge flop. Kirk Cameron took it upon himself to release VHS tapes of the film before it was released to churches across America, thinking he could create buzz for the film and then get more people into seats. Here's the problem. Christians were your core demographic. Now you've just sent out free copies of your film to your core demographic. They're not going to see your film again. What the hell were you thinking? So the movie ended up making, I think they only made the film for like $2.5 million, which even in 91, 92 is not that much. And it made about $3.5-4 million at the box office. So it turned a profit, but it was made for dirt cheap. But it was enough for them to make 2 more films. And those 2 films were straight to VHS. They couldn't even get a major release because they were so freaking bad.
Right.
No studio, even like the Christian studios were like, no, we're not touching this. So those films were some of the worst ever made. Now, because again, people are trying to target that Christian demographic, they said, oh, let's remake one of the worst films ever made. Because that's always a good idea. Let me offer up another example of that. Jack and Jill came out 2 or 3 years ago, was pretty much a loose remake of Glen or Glenda, which was a film in the 50s, which is considered one of the worst films of all time. And Adam Sandler thought, oh, you know what? Let me remake this piece of shit.
He's ranting. He said he wouldn't, but he's ranting.
So the films were fucking awful. And then some studio decided, oh, we're going to remake this. Now, I know why they're remaking it. For a few reasons. One, because they realize right now you can bank on the Christian demographic. You can take a film like God's Not Dead, which I didn't see because it didn't get really a major release. But from all the reviews I've heard, it almost looks like someone shot it who had never studied cinematography or film before. Someone went out there and just said, I don't know how to make films, and made a film. Like the editing is atrocious. There are scenes that are out of focus.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And it's like, and
it's the style.
Right. And the acting is apparently atrocious, even from decent actors. Like, I forget the guy who was on the old show, the old Hercules show.
Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah. He was in there. He played a professor, and Dean Cain was in there. But then they had
They're not.
But
They're not the best.
They're not, but they also had
were on TV.
they also had a ton of weird cameos from people from like Duck Dynasty and
What?
and- yeah.
What?
Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. They basically just said, okay, we're going to just really, really appeal to the Christian demographic.
What about the family from 19 Kids and Counting?
Yeah, or that too, yeah.
Duggars.
The Duggars, that's
God.
who they are.
And then,
Don't
like,
even get me started.
every left-minded person or liberal is painted as basically Satan incarnate. Like, they're just the worst people ever. It's one of the worst films, I think, made of this year. Yet somehow, it turned a major profit because they just marketed the hell out of it to Christian groups. So this is what they're now doing. They're saying, you know what? It doesn't matter what the plot is. As long as it revolves around Christian values, market the shit towards Christians, and they'll beat it up, and we'll make a profit.
But it doesn't seem like this trailer is doing that.
Yeah, like,
So,
I totally
that's
did
your
not
only
get
flaw.
the whole... I actually didn't get the whole raptor thing.
There was in one little moment where the girl said, the God that my mother believed in couldn't do this.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. But that's the point of Left Behind. And because there's a line in the original movies which is, they're trying to convert people to Christianity after the rapture has occurred, to saying, look, this is now the tribulation, this is the end times. You have to become a Christian if you want to survive in the end. And they're trying to get people to turn, but they're not, to which say, you know what, we have to force them to turn. And like, well, that's not right. And then some guy says some line along the fact of, well, we're going to not offend them right into hell. So that's like the born again way, which is, you know what? It's our job to save them from hell. So fuck them if they're offended. We're trying to save their lives. That's their mentality. So they don't care if they offend you. They don't care if they piss you off, which is the whole, Westboro Baptist thing. We're trying to save you. We don't care if we fucking piss you off. We're trying to help you, which, that's the whole mentality of this. Now, you can agree with that or not. That's what Left Behind is saying.
Like, at least the books in the original
Yes.
movie.
Right.
It's the mentality of all of the really good Christians have left. And the only people who are left are people who didn't believe or who are bad Christians.
Do you know what was a good raptor movie?
A good raptor movie?
Raptor movie.
Yeah, Jurassic Park was a good raptor movie.
Raptor movie. This is the end.
We actually never saw This Is the End.
I haven't seen that. I wanted to, and I never got a chance
We
to
kept
see
meaning
it.
to say we've never seen it.
You should see that.
I have a feeling I'd have fun with that because I'm getting so sick of rapture films, and I'd probably have fun with that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like one of those movies where you just kind of laugh it off because it is what it is.
It's those
right?
actors being themselves and just having a good time. And that looks like something I would have fun with. Yeah. Now, to take this back to Nicolas Cage, he was in another rapture film about 5 years ago called Knowing. Do you remember Knowing?
I remember that.
Did you have
That's
to
when
remind me of Knowing?
He knew about things like 30 seconds ahead of time or something.
No. That was Next.
Oh, then
Next was really bad, too. That was where he had his fucking bird hair. Yeah. My hair is a bird. Your argument is invalid.
I think I peaked the volume.
It's okay. But, no, he was in a film called Knowing, and it was fucking
awful.
Garbage.
Hated
Oh,
it.
my God. And it just hits you over the head with these fucking pseudo-Christian values. And I compare it like this. It was like a bunch of... No, it was like a bunch of Christians went to a Trekkie convention and then came back and wrote a film about what they saw. It was like they tried to combine what they thought the Trekkies knew with Christian thoughts.
Wait, what?
And then made the rapture and turned it into that. It was such fucking bullshit. Oh my God.
I think
I'm confused.
your brain looks like it's hurting.
Yeah.
It is very much hurting. I don't understand what's going on.
I will never make you watch Knowing, but if you want to see, just the most preachiest film of all time, watch Knowing. It just preaches at you for about an hour and a half.
Really?
And the ending, one of the most contrived bullshit endings I've ever seen. Just out of nowhere. But anyway, this is now the second rapture film that Nicolas Cage is making, and I'm starting to kind of hate Nicolas Cage again. I liked him after Kick-Ass because he was just having fun, and it looked like he was just kind of going out and saying, okay, I'm kind of a joke actor now, but I'm going to have fun with this movie, and he was fun. He did a good job. Now he's gone back to that Nicolas Cage I hate, because if he's going out and being that over-top funny guy, you know, where I hoped he would do that in Ghost Rider, but he didn't. When he's that over-the-top, eyes bulging out Nicolas Cage, I can have fun with him. But when he's all serious, like in Knowing and Bangkok Dangerous and like in this, I don't like him. I can't stand him.
I like National Treasure.
Those films are okay.
I liked him.
Okay, thank you.
I had fun. I had fun with.
Me too. I liked them a lot.
I liked the first National Treasure. The second one, not so much. I wasn't.
I like any of them.
I liked both.
Paul, they can't hear you with your mic in your lap.
I hate Nicolas Cage.
I like Justin Bartha.
So.
He's
the assistant. He was the guy who got lost in the hangover.
Okay, that's.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing about this movie, and I hate that a lot of Rapture stories and films do this. Why is it that the children and babies always get a free pass on the Rapture? Have you noticed that?
It really doesn't make sense, especially in that what I gathered from
judged from what you know.
No, because Christianity says that you're born a sinner.
That's Catholicism. Original sin is more Catholicism.
Yeah. This is true.
Christianity, or Protestantism,
right?
Is basically they say that you're judged by what you know, and usually babies and children, they don't know as much, and they haven't heard necessarily the preaching. They don't have the capacity necessarily to understand, and so it's the way that you understand.
Okay.
So that's why.
Now, and on that sense, I get babies, kind of, but not necessarily children, because children can be evil little fucking bastards. And that's why I don't get why all children would get a pass.
But being like evil and believing in Christ, because that's almost, it's almost like, because do you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's the idea of faith, and like you're judged by your faith.
But children might not necessarily have faith. The babies don't have faith.
That's why you're judged by what you know. So, like, you don't necessarily, it's not, you don't have the construction of a belief. Like, you haven't been given the choice to believe. Like, you basically were born and you don't know anything. And therefore, you're judged by the fact that you don't know anything.
But yet, children know right from wrong, and they choose to be little shits to other children. There's a great line in Cowboy Bebop which says, there is nothing more cruel and sadistic than a child. And I agree with that. I think children are little shits.
I mean,
they
it
are the
depends on how old you get, right? Like, you know, because like if you're talking about like a 2-year-old compared to like a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, like there's, I think it's, I mean, mainly it's for babies. Mm-hmm. I think it's mainly for babies. And then again, it's about what you believe. Like, you know, yes, they know the difference between right and wrong, but it's not necessarily the idea of, like, because they're judged by their faith. Because anything within Christianity, I would assume, is faith-based, not necessarily morality-based. Right?
I don't know what where the cutoff is for that. At what point do you get a free pass into heaven, and at what point are you now judged by your faith?
Because I
don't know.
Like, I mean, the way that I look at it, I think even as adults, people are judged by what they know, right? Like, because like there's the example that was always brought up in my in my religious studies class and stuff like that. I know we're going way off topic.
I know. Well, we can finish this up a little bit, but go ahead.
But the idea that, like, people who, I mean, technically, again, within Christianity and with missionaries and stuff like that, like, people who have not gotten any outside contact, like, with the faith of Christianity or Protestantism, like, they will be judged by how they behave amongst each other and how they, you know, but the main thing, and they won't be judged by whether or not they believe in Jesus, where I think that is usually the more crucial point more than anything.
Okay.
Like, so, and I guess it just depends on your interpretation of scripture and how you want to read into it.
Right.
So.
But again, I go back to what type of world Left Behind is living in, which is, hey, it's the asshole Christians who are the ones who are going to heaven. You know, this is the world which says you have to be openly recruiting 24/7. If you're not getting people to join Christianity, then you're not a good Christian. then you're not saving people from going from hell. That's what this type of story is saying. And one point that was raised in a book I read that was talking about stories like this and made me laugh was, if all of the asshole Christians are gone, wouldn't this be a pretty cool planet? If you had a planet where all these assholes who are going out and saying, God hates fags and, you have to convert to Christianity now or you're going to rot in hell. If those people all left, I think we could solve a lot of the problems on this planet. I'm just saying.
But they're assholes in all different faiths.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
true.
can't discriminate.
True, very true.
They're assholes everywhere. And
World is full of them.
to be honest, I know a lot of Christians, and the most Christians I know are not assholes. And they are very, very good people.
I identify myself as Christian.
Yeah,
I'm a self-hating Christian, but I am Christian.
And and with that being said, you actually don't get into contact with that. At least I haven't been in contact with that many hateful Christians. It's just that they get publicized in the media a lot more because of what they do.
Very true.
So, and again, there are assholes in every single faith, whether you believe or don't believe. There are assholes. So,
although I've never met an asshole Buddhist. I'm sure they exist, but I've never met an asshole.
I'm pretty sure they exist.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that they don't exist.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to move on to our final trailer for the night, which is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1.
Listen to me. No one else can do this but her.
She won't be able to handle it. The games destroyed her.
We need to unite these people out there. She's the face of this rebellion. They'll follow her.
Any association with the Mockingjay symbol is forbidden.
This was only just a teaser.
Yeah.
So I think we need to talk about it again. When
We
the
will
trailer comes
revisit
out.
this. We're going to start revisiting some of these trailers because there's obviously a decent amount of time until this one is released. We'll probably revisit it in the next couple months or so.
Yeah.
But from just the teaser, I'm excited for this.
It looks really cool.
Yeah. Now, a couple things about
this. I was a little disappointed.
How so? You just want to see more?
Yeah, I think that I know that it was just a teaser, but I now don't remember what the book was about. I read all of the books.
Well, I've actually read up a little bit, not far enough to know what happens in the end, but what's happening here. This is in District 13, the one that got nuked off the map, which is on somewhere around the East Coast somewhere, and they're now having a rebellion against the Capitol. And they have a president, President Coin, I think is her name, which in this is Julianne Moore. And they're trying to have Katniss be the symbol of their rebellion.
Yes.
Which, they're trying to say, is she mentally capable?
Yes.
Because she's gone through so much shit in both these games. Now, a couple things about this. First off, one thing you have to note is that all of Philip Seymour Hoffman's scenes were shot for this. He finished shooting for part one. I don't think he finished for part 2. I think he had 1 or 2 scenes left in that.
Very little.
Yes.
And they're going to CG him in. Right?
Yes, something like that. It's going to be kind of awkward. But they finished shooting for part 1. So we'll see this. We'll see what happens, what they do with part 2.
Yeah.
Also with this, obviously there's the whole 2 films thing.
Yes.
Which most of us have hated.
Yes.
That they keep doing this with all these series now.
I like that they did it with Harry Potter. There was a lot to the last book.
There was. I know a lot of people claim that. And I still liked part 2 of the Deathly Hallows. I still really like that film. Part 1, not so much, but I think with all the material you had, I think it warranted dividing.
Yeah. I think it was okay.
Right.
I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. The weight and everything.
They had been rumoring they were going to split it in half from book 5.
Well, book 5 was like this. Book 5 was really big.
Originally, they were going to split the Order of the Phoenix in half, and then there was a very brief rumor that they would split the Half-Blood Prince in half. And
that would have been ridiculously
that
stupid.
Been strange.
Yeah. And by the time I even saw that movie, I fucking had no idea what the book was about. I hated that book.
Well, I haven't read the book, but I'm assuming the book, just like the film, was just a holdover, just a tie-in to get to the climax.
Yeah, it was basically, it was background.
It was. I love background, but there was just... It wasn't the background I hated. Really, it was it was Umbridge's character. And they made that character so hateable that the rest of the book was... Oh, really? The rest of the book was just, I couldn't enjoy it.
You know what? That is an actress who played that part so well that I think if I saw her on the street, I would fucking punch her.
We just saw...
I hated that character so much. Because I've met people like that who believe they are so right, but they are so wrong that I just want to throttle them the moment I see them.
But I feel bad for those people.
No, I don't fucking feel bad for them at all.
I do, because
I feel bad that they're still drawing breath.
Because, like, I feel bad that they are so entrenched in their beliefs that they cannot possibly see anything else besides that. Like, I think that in of itself is just as sad.
What's sad is that you're breathing my air. That's what I hate about it. I'm like, get out of my gene pool. Go away.
I'm not usually the one to say this, but we're a bit off track.
Yeah, we are.
I think that the movie looks really cool. I haven't seen the second one yet. Shut up. I haven't seen the second one yet. Have you seen all the Marvel movies?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Well, not every single one.
But
I also didn't follow I didn't see any of the Wolverine one, like some of the Wolverine
Nobody cares
ones.
about the Wolverine movies.
Exactly, because they're bad. This was good. This was fucking amazing.
I'm just saying. Have you seen all the Marvel Studios movies? Is what I'm asking.
Like which?
All the Avengers films.
I have.
Iron Man's, Thor's, Hulk's.
I have.
Well, Hulk.
Well, yeah, like the Edward Norton one. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
She's up. She's got you.
Up to date.
No, I mean, because Kim fucking did a review for Avengers. It was like, well, I didn't see this movie.
Well, I saw.
And then Ben was like, well, I didn't see that movie.
Like,
and I'm like, why the fuck are these people here?
I made my boyfriend, well, now fiance, sit through every single one of those before he went into the Avengers movie. Like, I was just like, there's no way that you're going in without seeing all of these.
Steve and I rewatched the Avengers. We watched Iron Man's 1 and 2 and then the Avengers before we went to see Iron Man 3.
Huh.
Anyway.
I
think it looks really crazy cool.
Yeah. And I'm with the fangirl on this. Catching Fire was amazing. It was. I really liked that film, and I really liked it more than the first one because in the first one
it was better than the first one.
Right, because you have to kind of question the logic of this society that's allowing their kids to be, murdered like this. There's going to be an uprising. Anytime you say, oh, we're going to sacrifice your kids, it's like, who's following this and why?
Exactly. Like, the first one didn't give enough credit to why the society was created and how it was created and, kind of the power balance. Whereas I think the books did a slightly better job of that. And I was just, like, me and my roommate, when we watched it the first time on Netflix, because I actually didn't see the first one in theaters, saw it on Netflix, so I was just sitting there going, this makes no sense. Like, why is nobody questioning authority here? Like, it boggled my mind.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway.
And with Catching Fire, they didn't ignore that, but they said, you know what? We're going to entrench you in the suffering of these people. Yeah. We're going to entrench you in what's been happening to them and why you should feel sympathetic for these people. Yeah. And now, they bring in the other tributes who have suffered for so many years. Yeah. And it worked. Yeah. It really, really worked. And it made me so excited for the next two films.
Yeah. And like, in the first movie, what they actually left out was a very huge part of what will be, which should have been a continuing storyline from the first movie to the last one, is the idea of the Avoxes. I want to say that's what they're called. They're actually slaves who work in the Capitol. And
I had no idea that this was a thing.
Because they didn't exist in the movie, where they kind of gave a little shout out to them in the film by just the way that they were dressing, but it was actually a kind of a big thing in Katniss's life, where there was like a girl and a boy who was like running away, and she kind of saw them being taken away by the Capitol, who was tracking them. And what happened was, they got what happens to the slaves in the Capitol is that they can't talk because they cut their tongues out.
Damn.
Yeah. And, and that actually plays a huge role in the whole, kind of the whole progression of the movie. And, there are characters in the third movie, which I'm going to be very confused about and as to how they're going to explain them because they didn't have it in the first one. I don't know how it's going to go. And there's also a lot more emphasis on Katniss's styling team in the books as well, which again doesn't seem to be such a big deal, but is more of an issue in the books. But yeah, like, you know, the idea of the Avoxes and the slaves in the capital, you know, because if you try to run away and you get caught, that's what you get. You get your tongues cut out and you become slaves for the rich and powerful. So things like that, which I think probably would have been good if they, you know.
Now, I did want to discuss real quick before we move on to our future presentations, which was the 2 little TV spots that were attached so far to Mockingjay, because they are both like commercials for the Capitol. I don't know if you've seen them or not. The first one was just about unity and making sure that everyone complies with the Capitol, and the second one, what was kind of the same about, you know, how subservience is needed. And then you saw PETA and I forget the other girl.
Jenna Malone's character.
Yeah, her. Standing next to the president. And you're like, oh. You know?
Well, I mean, that was kind of explained in at the end of the second movie.
Yeah. I mean, they had been captured.
Yes.
You're raising your hand.
I haven't seen it.
Well, maybe you should have seen it. Sorry. Keep forgetting.
But well, those were in the spots.
Well, I did see him standing next to him. I just assumed he like betrayed them or something. But
No.
Well, it's very complicated. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And
won't say more than that.
Yeah. So it's interesting the way that the Katniss PETA storyline plays out in the third book/movie.
Okay.
So.
Well, looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. So we're going to get into our feature presentations, and there aren't too many because we're not too many films coming out over the next few weeks. But the first one is Sin City: A Dame to Kill For.
Is Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that one?
Yes. And he was in the first one, actually. Not too long, but he was in the first one. And this has been getting a decent amount of controversy recently because a lot of stuff keeps getting banned for this.
Oh.
There was a poster with, what's her name, Eva Green? Is that the actress's name? She was in the Bond films.
Yes.
And,
Eva Green.
There was a poster with her just wearing like a white blouse or something, and apparently it showed a little too much, how do I want to say this? What was the word?
Areola?
Areola. A little joke with Kim and I. We were yelling that down at the beach this past weekend. Areola! We'll explain later. Sorry. It's not a story for the podcast. That's all I can say.
Is it like the penis game?
No, it is not.
Oh my god, I just learned about that.
As far as this goes, it's been getting controversy because this poster was banned because it showed a little bit of nipple. And people are like, come on, you can barely see it. Not only that, but who cares? We're not showing a guy getting decapitated. You know, what's wrong with showing the female...
we're allowed to show that.
What?
We're allowed to show that.
Yeah, we're allowed to show that. But heaven forbid you show a little bit of the female body.
Or two dudes kissing.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck, guys, you know? And now there was a TV spot where you saw Eva Green and I think it's Josh Brolin who's in this.
Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos. Who are having a pretty hardcore sex scene. Now, you don't see anything going on, but again, just for like, you have to be like really, really looking at it. You see like a slip of her nipple, and they banned the trailer, or they banned the TV spot. It's like, fucking really, guys? I mean... maybe don't show this on Nickelodeon, but for God's sake, you know, if you're showing it on Spike, if you're showing it on HBO or whatever, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I think we've gotten past the point where you can see the female body or even the male body. You know,
well, apparently we haven't.
Right.
Because people still have to be outraged about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yet, in a film like this where it's stylized and people are, you know, blowing each other apart and decapitated heads talk and shit like that, like, oh, no, that's perfectly fine.
Well, I mean, I saw a thing once. It was a little animated comic strip on Facebook, and it was this father sits down with his son, and there's like, you know, gratuitous sex with you know, dancing women in nothing but bikinis, and, you know, gratuitous violence and shit blowing up and zombies and monsters, and then there's two dudes kissing, and that's all it is, and he's like covering his kid's eyes, and it's just like, what is the world coming to?
Yeah.
When, you know, these are the things that we're hiding them from, but these are the things we're exposing them from. Like,
right.
All or nothing, or fix your priorities.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
The female body, I mean, nipples or not, is not a horrible thing to look at.
No.
You know, like, decaying flesh and these monsters, these are not things that belong in trailers.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, to show them in the adult trailers, the uncensored trailers, the
red band.
Red band trailers,
Yeah.
you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff of nightmares.
Right.
It quite literally. And the female body, the stuff of some people's nightmares. but that's reality. That's what we have. And
Right.
I mean, it's something that I guess Catholicism taught us to be ashamed of. And we don't need to be. Now, look.
I don't think it's just religion, necessarily.
I just care that I want a cheesesteak.
Well, to be fair, Europe has kind of gotten off of this. In Europe, you will see ads with just topless women.
Yeah.
You know, and they've gotten past it. And even parts of Canada has gotten past it. You know, they'll allow that. It's like only America has this weird sensitivity to the female body.
It's the meaning that we place on to, things like that. Like, that's what it is. It's the meaning. It's the over-sexualized. It's like, if my son or daughter sees this, my daughter is going to want to be a whore, and, my son is going to, it's kind of like the meaning.
I will personally make sure that your daughter is a whore.
I do not want to have a daughter ever.
Where were you? I was with Uncle Paul. Unacceptable. He's Uncle Paul. No.
Like,
no.
But it's and even that, me by saying that, that's still like slut shaming, and that's wrong of me, to kind of even go that far.
She's a horrible future mother of a slutty daughter.
It's the meaning that we apply onto social norms. I'm just saying words now.
I
really, but they did mean the last couple still meant something, and I agree.
No, I can see you fangirling with your daughter at some point. Tom Hiddleston 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that would be so weird.
I hope your daughter's a lesbian.
You do realize that there are mothers and daughters who do that for the Twilight films, and it's extremely creepy, yet
really
somehow
creepy.
it's acceptable.
It's really creepy. I don't want to.
I'm so glad that my mom and I have different taste in men.
Yeah, like, it's weird. Like, I don't want to fangirl the same things my mom. Like, I can appreciate, what she likes, but I don't want to fangirl over the same things that my mom fangirls over because it's weird.
I mean, I'm super close with my mom, and we can squee over things, but I'm really glad we have different taste in guys. Really am, because if she remarried a dude that I thought was crazy hot, that'd be awkward for everybody.
But so getting back to Sin City, I'm just gonna say, I kind of want to see this because I did like the first Sin City. It was stylized, it was brutal, it was dark, but I had a lot of fun with it. And I love the stories they told. Now I don't know what the hell they're doing with this. They're bringing back a lot of characters who I'm pretty sure died in the first one. So I don't know what the heck is going on with this, if it's a prequel, or if they just said, no, they never fucking died because it's Sin City and no one really dies. But what, because people live through a lot of shit in Sin City. You can get your limbs blown off or have a fucking arrow go through your head, and yet somehow you're still breathing and sawing. Like, ugh. You're like, what the fuck is this? Logic isn't dictated in this world. So I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully it's done well. It's coming out at kind of a dumping ground time of year, but I really hope it does well. So moving on from that is actually something we didn't talk about, which is the November Man.
I've seen a couple trailers for that. It looks decent.
I don't think I've seen any trailers
It's
for that.
the Pierce Brosnan film coming out soon.
Oh,
he was an assassin or some shit.
Right.
Oh, right.
Now, the first thing I said about this was, why is this not coming out in November? Seems like a perfect time for it. No, and I joke, but I'm not kidding. It seems like something like this, if you have a film dedicated at a certain point of year, like a Christmas film or a film named after a month, you target it at a particular time of year. If you have a film called November Man, release it in fucking November.
Wasn't there a movie called October Sky or something?
There was The Hunt for Red October.
No, I thought there was a movie called October
wasn't
Sky.
Jake Gyllenhaal in it or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't recall that one. I'm sorry.
Anywho.
But anyway, November Man almost looks like the spiritual successor for Bond if Pierce Brosnan was still doing Bond. Because he's doing a lot of the same stuff, and it's still kind of spy espionage where he's left whatever agency he's with, but now he's still trying to protect this girl.
Yeah.
And
he should be in the next Expendables movie too.
That would be cool. I would like to see him in an Expendables film. I don't know why they haven't reached out for him. I don't know.
Him and Sean Connery.
Maybe they're just not very.
Oh my God! Get Connery! Get Connery!
I'd see it if Connery was in it.
Cool.
Oh man!
Oh my gosh!
Oh man! It'd be so fun to see him.
How we're all just geeking over
I know.
Expendables.
Anyway, so I know we didn't talk about this one, but there's not a whole lot to talk about.
Looks generic.
It looks very, very generic. And Pierce Brosnan, while I like him, he's not the draw he used to be. And it's a shame to say that. I can't recall the last film I saw him in. What was the last film he made?
Mamma Mia.
Was it Mamma Mia?
I don't know. That's the last one I saw him in.
I think he's made something since then, but it wasn't something notable.
Right.
It's the Thomas Crown affair. I think that was
ages.
That was ages ago. Yeah, and I think that was still during this Bond run.
It was.
So, does anyone like this guy anymore? I mean, I won't see a movie
sing,
with
so
him.
no.
What's that?
I've heard him sing, so no.
He's rumored for the Expendables 4 movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
We are creating things that are happening.
I know, right? Like, we're just like...
It all started with the...
Do we have that book from the Spongebob film?
I've been writing it this whole time.
Oh, wow. Did you give him the Death Note?
I was gonna say
he was in The World's End.
Oh,
He
okay.
was.
We didn't see The World's End.
You should see it. That's a good movie.
I heard really good things about that.
It
We should
was
see The
good.
World's End.
Yeah.
That was the Simon Pegg film.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
It's like it's a third in the trilogy. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
not
they
it's
call
not
it.
an actual trilogy, but
they
yeah.
call it. It's
Mhm.
like the trilogy.
Same universe, kind of. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're gonna move on to our final one of the night, which is As Above, So Below. Now, we talked about this one a couple months ago now, and I'm still looking forward to it. Although the trailers are revealing a lot, and it's starting to upset me. They've shown almost all the moments where people die in the film, which is kind of upsetting. I hate that they do that. Admittedly, there is still something for this that we haven't seen, which is PewDiePie going through the catacombs alone, which I still want to see. But that being said, what?
Did he do it yet?
No, he has not done it yet.
Oh.
I really want to see that. I want to see this poor kid walking through this place where there are 6 million dead bodies.
Yeah. I'm surprised this movie isn't coming out a little later.
Yeah, you would think it'd come out, either mid or late September, kind of get that Halloween crowd in there. It's probably not going to have that long of a run. It may have a month and a half run tops. It's going to probably end just before Halloween.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. They're hoping to maybe bank on that late summer crowd, but that's not a good crowd to bank on. You think they'd bank on the Halloween crowd.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I'm excited for this only because not only is it the whole found footage thing, but I like what they're doing with this realm, with where they are and how they're trying to, like, almost like they're slipping into different circles of hell.
Right.
And I like that they're doing that. And I hope that it kind of ties into those sins, kind of like Dante's Inferno style. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but I would love to see that. So
I like the idea, but I just don't want everything to be ruined.
Right.
Already.
We'll see this. I'm excited for it. I really hope it's good, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up.
Okay.
But I really do want to see this.
I want to see it also.
Yeah.
I don't know about it.
We're gonna make you see it.
No.
Yep. You're coming with us. We're gonna see that light-hearted fun movie, and then we're
gonna see Guardians of the Galaxy again. Months later. And then we walk into As Above, So Below. So we are going to call it a night. I am going to thank the Goddess of Girl for stopping by.
Goddess of Girl? I'll take it.
The Goddess of Gore.
Kim's a lesbian now. We knew it was coming. Mike was a cover.
Whoa, I want to thank the fangirl extraordinaire for coming by.
Hello. Goodbye.
You just gave a weird peace sign that our fans can't see.
Tipping of the hat.
Tipping of the hat. Oh, okay. And the Superhuman Aficionado for coming by.
See you, bitches.
Yeah, because he is hungry as hell.
Oh, my God.
And I, once again, am the Projectionist. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. And again, one more time, please check us out on Podomatic. We always appreciate you doing that, or on YouTube. We're going to try and get out a couple reviews in the coming weeks. Hopefully we can do that. If not, we apologize, but we're going to be busy. But, that being said, thanks again for tuning in. Have a good night, and take care.
Can't